Hi everybody, Brian Kynard, Captain and Guy with Outside Hilton Head and 1/4 of Cruising with the Kynards, joined today with...
I am Pippi. I am an adventure guide here at Outside Hilton Head, and I kind of specialize in this beauty that we're standing in front of today.
This looks like an adventure mobile.
It is an adventure mobile.
What is it?
So, Brian, this is called a Pedego.
Okay.
All right. And if you ever look at an advertisement for Pedego,
Yeah.
the caption is "Hello Fun." And when I do a lot of trips on these bikes,
Okay.
I put a lot of miles on a Pedego.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I give a warning with this trip that
All right.
you will never look at a manual bike again once you have ridden one of these. They are so much fun.
I got the benefit of borrowing a couple of these earlier in the year, and I definitely rode to a couple of my business meetings.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked in, geeked out, smiling from ear to ear.
Oh, yeah, my poor little Raleigh, it's like got spider webs all in the garage now. So yeah, love
All
this
right,
thing.
so what is it? It's an e-bike, right?
Yeah, I'll break it down for you.
Perfect.
All right, so you can see it pretty much looks like a manual bicycle, but there's one tricky little thing back here, and that's the battery. That's where all your power is going to come from, okay?
Lithium ion, I'm guessing?
Yes, absolutely. And these are such great batteries. They don't lose any of their power
Yep.
over a long period of years. They charge quickly and they hold a charge.
So it's not like my
very long.
iPhone that breaks every 2 years.
No.
Got it.
I thought they fixed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, and the good thing is they haven't had to fix that. It worked great from the start.
Perfect. Let's dive just a little bit deeper into this battery and talk about its range, charge times, things like that.
Absolutely. So it charges overnight to
Okay.
run 60 miles on a single charge. So what? And because it
60
does,
miles?
Yes. And because its charge doesn't degrade,
Okay.
that means if you want to ride it for an hour over a period of whatever, a week, 2 weeks, you only need to recharge it. And there's a very handy little recharge indicator here.
Yep.
All
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to do
See
is
right
pop
there. Yeah.
that,
Yep.
and you can see that's got a full charge. So
Okay.
you, my friends, are good to go to Buford.
That's pretty cool.
So here we have most of the other changes you're going to find up here in the front. You'll see this little digital display.
Yep.
And that's going to give you your power reading,
Yep.
how fast you're going, what level of assist you are getting.
Okay.
And that word assist is really important, Brian, because this is not a moped.
Yep.
This is a bicycle.
So still got to pedal it.
Right. Well, when I set it on 0,
Yep.
yes and no, we'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
So if I set this on 0, you're going to get all the exercise you would get with a manual bike.
Got
And
it.
it does have, manual tension as well. So you can set it 1 through 7 in terms of that resistance on the pedals.
Okay.
So you can get a great workout.
Yeah.
But let's say you want to go 20 miles and you get to mile 10. Man, all you got to do is bump it up and you're going to get that assist to get you home comfortably. Right?
And then you said, so I can go from 0 to...
Well, you can get this up to 20 miles an hour if
Whoa.
you put a little effort into it.
That's pretty fast.
Put it
Hence
on,
the helmet on the side.
hence the helmet. Yeah, we, so you'll know, we always recommend guys helmets, whether it's
Yeah.
a manual bike or an electric bike, but it's
Absolutely.
especially important on an electric bike.
Absolutely.
So what we do have over here, you said, you have to pedal. You don't really have to pedal because there is a throttle.
Okay.
You'll notice the leather handles. Well,
Yes.
at the end of this right handle, it becomes plastic.
Okay.
That is your throttle. So all you're going to do is rotate that towards you, and you can just coast along just like you're on a moped.
I must tell a little secret. When I got to borrow these, I never really pedaled them. I just kept twisting it like without pedaling.
On my trips, I hear that all the time. And then people sometimes even like to use the throttle to help them get going. And, of course, we have so many hills here on the island. I think there's one in Palmetto Dunes.
There's a hill in Palmetto Dunes? There's like a sand
There's
dune
the
or
bridge.
something?
You go up the bridge.
Got
But, it's so flat here that you see any incline and your breath starts to shorten and your heart starts to beat. Well, all you got to do is kick in that throttle and it'll boost you.
I've heard of something called the Low Country hills before, and I believe that's the wind in your face.
That's well, you know what? That's a great point. Because I've been out for beach rides on my manual bike where I got the wind at my back, man, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I went 11 miles and it takes me 7 hours to get home. This, you can ride with the wind at your back all you want and just use that assist, that power on your way home. Piece of cake.
Very cool. So outside Hilton Head, they are definitely known for carrying great gear and product that's going to last. So
Absolutely.
What sets this Pedego apart?
Well, part of it is the way that it is designed and structured. And they're also very easy to maintain.
Right.
A lot of times when you buy an electric bike, if something goes wrong with it, well, that's a problem. The great news is when you're buying a bike, especially from us, you've got a repair source right there. We have expert mechanics for these that know them inside and out. And when you go through that purchase process, you'll actually work with one of our agents that really understand this Pedego bike, and they're going to get it set up exactly the way you want it, and they're going to give you great instruction on how to maintain it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about being involved with Outside Hilton Head is the fact that they have got experts for all their gear, and it's not just about that point of sale, but it's about the entire experience and making sure that you understand and know your gear.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Yeah. So you talked about easy to maintain. What about like moving this thing around? I mean, it looks like it could be heavy.
Well, you make a good point. I'm actually going to swap places.
Let's swap.
You.
All right.
Okay, there we go. So, we mentioned that the battery's in the back.
Yes, sir.
And that's something that when, let's say I'm doing a trip and I'm introducing somebody to the electric bikes, I always point out that this is where the weight of the bike is going to be.
Okay.
So the main difference to me between this and a manual bike, other than the amazing speed that you can obtain, is that when you step down and pause, you're going to get a lean, and it's going to come from back here.
It's like when I carry one of my kids on the back of my bike in the bike seat.
Exactly. So you want to be aware. Now, without the battery, this weighs not a whole lot more than a regular bike. But once you pop that battery in, average about 50 to 55 pounds.
No, that's not too bad.
Hey, you know what? If I can lift...
Wait, you're pretty strong.
They're not that heavy. They're pretty, no, they're not that heavy.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
So if we want to find one of these, how do we find these, either online or in person?
Well, before you even go about just finding them, I want to point out how you can experience them. So you can come down and give them a try right at our retail store. You can walk in and say, hi, can I try out a Pedego? And we'll let you can go for a ride in the parking lot, and we'll explain to you how the whole thing works. And it really is a lot of fun. And you can even rent them if you want to try them on the size for a while and make sure it's going to fit your lifestyle.
That's cool. Now, what if I want to go out and learn some cool information about the Low Country and check out the bike at the same time? Do we have that?
Now you're just being nice to me.
Oh,
I do a lot of our Pedego guided tours. And I have to say, particularly this time of year with the holidays right around the corner, you got family coming into town. It's a little chillier. Maybe not everybody's so excited about being wet or on the water. This is a great cool weather activity. So you can bring the family down. It's a 2-hour trip, and it circles through the island, and it talks about the history of the island as well as this amazing ecosystem that we have to share with everybody. And then you also get to have that experience of what it's like to be on an electric bike.
Very cool. Full disclaimer though, if you do that, you're probably going to want to buy one afterwards.
It happens all the time. You know what my favorite is? I'll have couples come in.
Yep.
And they've booked a trip, like one of them. Let's say the husband has booked the trip because his wife loves riding bicycles.
Yeah,
and she like, that's how she gets her exercise. And he hates it, man. He just hates riding bicycles. So he very sweetly books this trip for his wife.
Yep.
By the end of the trip, he says, this is my solution. I can go out with my wife now because I had so much freaking fun on this.
Yeah.
And I can keep up with her, and I can exercise or not exercise if I want. So it actually is a great way for couples to work out together, even if there's a disparity of interest in terms of bicycling.
That's right, because I like to ride bikes for fun, not for exercise.
Well, I do a little bit of both, but I understand.
I'd be on the electric bike next to you. I've seen you ripping around the island before.
So yeah, it's really fun.
Awesome. So where can we find these online?
So you can check it out on shopoutside.com. That's the easiest place to go. But I really have to encourage people, come in and check it out. You can see they look really cool, and we have multiple models of these. Okay. This is probably our most popular. It's that step through, really easy for anyone to ride.
Yeah, I've noticed like my beach cruiser's got the big bar over the top. I got to step over.
And they have that model. They have cruiser models. They even have mountain bike models.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they even have attachments for kids. They even make a tandem. So there's all different styles, and you can look at those styles on the website and get an idea of what's there. Okay. But you really got to come in and have an experience with these to get the full concept of how amazing these are.
Very cool.
I would encourage people to come in and talk with us.
I just encourage you to come in and check them out. I mean, what better way? You go outside and make a connection with your family, friends, and the Low Country environment.
Absolutely.
So very cool. Pippi, we really appreciate you sharing your knowledge of the Pedego bikes with us today and the viewers out there. And until next time, we'll see you around.
See ya.